Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. Gerry with Max and Terry. We're all here. So, gentlemen, we need to talk about Tom Davies. All right? The big fan. Love Tom. Always love Tom. Think he's a smart player. It was the first kid we got. My 6-year-old, Tom Davies, had to do it. All right? News broke recently that he's being offered a new contract until 2023. His current contract apparently runs until 2022. So, I guess it's a little bit of news. It's 1 year longer, I reckon. That's the thing. Apparently, in the same report, it said that Silva turned down Tom Davies' possible loan move to Celtic in January. Apparently, so clearly Silva deems him important. Every time Silva speaks highly of Tom Davies. All right. So here's the issue that I'm having with him. What are we going to do with him moving forward? Okay, because for a while there he was coming in for Gomez. All right, he was coming in for Gomez a little bit farther, sitting farther back. Now he's been coming in for Sigurdsson late. All right, in a more advanced role, which I think we've all discussed as being something that's a good spot for him for the most part, right?
I've been a huge advocate of that for a long time now.
Yeah. So the question is, he's been coming in when we have a lead. Usually, he's not coming in to try to get us goals. He's usually coming in to kind of stave off a bit. Add a little extra pressing pressure, add another smart head in the middle to try to hold on to the ball, keep the other team at bay, right? That's usually what he's coming in for. And he's not, I mentioned in the last video about a center attacking mid coming in for Sigurdsson late in games if we need a different look, someone to unlock a defense. But Tom Davies is not that guy. So it's strange. Is his role going to continue moving forward as just like to spell Sigurdsson when we're ahead? I don't understand. I don't really know what we're going to do with him. Or is he going to go back coming in for Gomez? So let's start with Max, and I'm brainstorming here because I don't fully know the answers. Okay?
I think it's dependent on the summer transfer activity, really. I think he just kind of fell victim to the pecking order of the central midfielders, really, now. Because, in an ideal world, you've got Andre Gomez and Idrissa Gana Gueye there, and you've kind of got the ambiguity over both of their futures, whether Gomez is going to become a permanent, whether Gueye is going to leave. And then if you look at who, because he's been coming off the bench, it's more than not likely been because Schneiderlin's been starting, and that's been, obviously, Marco Silva's said, been working harder in training. However, as I said, he's always one of the first players, kind of, if we're organising a shipping list, if we want to get someone off the wage bill, he's always in the discussion after his dip in form last season, Schneiderlin. Although I personally wouldn't like to see him leave, but if it frees up the wage bill, then that's what that is. But and of course, Gylfi Sigurdsson is, he's not really of that ilk of a playmaking midfielder, is he? I think he's a really interesting case study to look at. Really, I think if you look at Everton last season, when we kind of lost all kind of piece of identity that we had, where we kind of got no specific playing style or anything like that, having a local lad there, I think, is hugely important. And I think, although Koeman, he kind of got his big break, wasn't it? And obviously based on that scene with the fantastic goal against Manchester City, I was having a quick look at his league appearances over the past couple of years: 2016, 17, 24 league appearances, 33 the season after that, and then this season only 16 league appearances. So you can say he's stunted, and I'd say that is because of who we've got in as central midfielders now. And no fault of his own. He's still only 20 years of old. You think he'd be 21 in June or something. So he's still really young. And he, of course, with him being a local lad, he's subject to debate among a lot of supporters. However, as I said, I feel like it's really important to have him in there. And although he hasn't possibly developed on the pitch as much as we'd like to this season, I think he's reached a new level in terms of his influence in the dressing room, of course, by, being one of the captains so far this season. And I know that was thrown at Marco Silva in his press conference today, whether that's going to be, with the ambiguity over Leighton Baines and Phil Jagielka, whether Davies will end up with the armband. I still do think that's a long way into the future. But I don't know, if you look back at all the kind of great Premier League sides, I think they've always had a local lad there to anchor them. You look over the park, Gerrard and Carragher at Liverpool. I know they didn't come through I know Lampard didn't come through the Chelsea academy, but Lampard and Terry at Chelsea. So just players like that, Neville and Scholes, class of '92, you've got plenty of examples at Manchester United. But I think it is very important to have a local lad there. And although the 1 year this extension is a bit odd, I think to have an English prospect down for another year, it's always a positive.
Yeah, I know when I first saw that Silva was coming in, I did the research on his style and his system. He always liked to run, Decore and Capu, and then he would have that third central mid, a Cleverley or a Will Hughes. And I thought, that's a pretty good role for Tom Davies, to play that Cleverley Will Hughes role. Because I don't think he has as much in common with Decore or Capu in terms of the way their style of play. Just not much. It is more that third, role that would slip back into a 3 when they're defending, But things are a little different now. In terms of we have Sigurdsson, and Sigurdsson is almost an immediate one of the first names on the team sheet for Silva, it seems. So that's my curiosity. If it's going to get to a point where we give Tom the occasional start moving forward instead of Gylfi, because but it's not like Gylfi's super old or anything. So he's got some time where he can continue starting like that, but. Yeah, I think it's his future at Everton is going to be more in that advanced role. That's what it seems like, anyway. Terry, how are you feeling about all this, man?
Well, I like Tom Davies. I'm on record as saying I'm a big, Tom Davies fan. I think he's a good player. I think, he tries, different things. Doesn't always come off as people will be quick to tell you. But it did surprise me when I read the sort of tweets that he was going to get a new contract, because he already had one that was pretty long term. He was already locked in place, so it wasn't like he was a player who we were, worried about losing at some point. So that to me suggests that the new contract is sort of, an indicator of an improved sort of increased status within the squad going forward. So never in any danger of being sold, which is what Max touched on with the ambiguity over the other central midfielders at the club. All 4 of the other central midfielders have got different question marks over them. Mm-hmm. Whereas Tom seemed to be the only one who was, concrete, and he's not going anywhere and whatnot. But I'm really confused as to what we're going to do with him, with regards to his development, because I do not understand why we said no to a loan to Celtic, because we had all 4 of the other players fit, the other midfielders. So we had Gomez, Gay. We'd already knocked back a deal for Gay, and we had apparently deals lined up for Gay if he went, alternative players lined up. So we had McCarthy, Schneiderlin, Gomez and Gay all in place and all fit. So, and Tom Davies will not improve and not get any better if he's just going to get 5 minutes, 10 minutes in games for us. And we've kept him around. I think much like with Mason Holgate, I think we would have benefited more going forward with him actually getting half a season out playing regularly. I don't know why we said no to that, because quite clearly when an injury or suspension came up later in the season, Schneiderlin played. So when Gomez went out, Tom Davies didn't even come in then.
Yeah.
Maybe this is an indicator of that's a short-term thing to get this season out the way. And next season, Tom, we're going to start playing with more 4-3-3 in certain games, and you're going to be part of that, or we see you as part of the leadership group, like Max said. I don't know. I just don't get it. I'm happy for them to do it. I think it's well within keeping with Marcel Brand's sort of model that he's mentioned, built around young players, try and develop young players, especially ones from the academy. I think Tom is a player who can get better, but he's not going to get better if we're not going to play him. Look how much further Calvert-Lewin has come on by playing more regularly and how much more he's improved. And Tom Davies is much like Ademola Lookman. He can only get, little snippets here and there, and it's not doing any good for him. So I wonder whether the new contract came with a sort of, behind the office door conversation going, yeah, Tom, you've had to sit tight this season because we've not got the players in place to play the way we want to play with you, but we'll have that next season, so you're going to be part of a middle three with a proper number 6. And or it could just be, yeah, Tom, we're going to get rid of Schneiderlin and McCarthy, and probably Gay's going to go as well, so you're going to get more games regardless. We're going to bring in 2 midfielders, but you'll be the senior guy because you'll have been here the longest. Who knows? I don't think we're in a luxurious enough position from next season, given that we're going to buy new players, to loan Tom out next season. We might need someone who's we know is tried and trusted in the league in case any of those players don't work out. But this season, I just do not understand why we didn't let him go to Celtic and get some game time under his belt, because I will guarantee Mason Holgate is a much better player for having that loan at West Brom, and I think Tom needs that loan as well, that time out. It did wonders for Lookman as well, for his confidence. He did well at RB Leipzig. It's a strange one. You can see why they done it, but I can also not understand why they didn't do other things.
I mean, there is that other option that you alluded to there, Terry. The possibility of the backroom conversation where they've said, okay, well, tell you what, we're going to give you a vote of confidence that we want you to be a part of Everton moving forward, so we're going to extend your contract a little bit, but we don't think you're going to play much next season. And so maybe it's one of those things where they say, hey, possibly go on loan next season to one of those mid-level, lower-tier Premier League clubs to possibly get more time and then come back the next season. Because if he's not going to play much, maybe they're thinking, let's figure out a way to get the kid more minutes, but still show confidence in him.
I don't think we'll have that luxury next time out with the amount of higher player recycling we're going to do. We could bring in, say we bring in Gomez and another midfielder. There's no guarantee that other midfielder is a hit. You could end up with it's letting Schneiderlin and McCarthy go, let's say, and then you've let Tom Davies go on loan as well, and then you're stuck with 2 midfielders and 1 flop. It can happen. Tom Davies, I think, will be more valuable next season, given the business we want to do, than he is now. So that's why I just don't understand why they didn't let him go out on loan when everyone else was fit and he wasn't going to be the first choice to come in if there was a suspension or an injury, as we saw.
Yeah, and given the fact that he's been at the club since he's a kid, I don't really see the benefit of taking someone who's he's rooted in the club. Obviously, there's been a lot of turbulence in terms of ins and outs. I don't really see the benefits other than of course he developed playing more football, but I don't see the benefits of taking him out the fray. For example, if Terry said that we do bring new players in and they don't hit the ground running, you're better with a tried and tested player like Davies, aren't you? Really,
it depends on where they consider his actual position.
Yeah, personally, I think it depends on the midfield system that you're going to say that you're going to play. I mean, as you said there, I think he benefit a lot more from playing in a 3, and obviously Silva's mindset on playing the holding 2, and with the exception of Idrissa Gay, I don't see a real ample partner there for Davies, because I don't think they would be quick enough to provide cover to the back 4. Hence why I think you've seen him slot in more in Gylfi's role in recent weeks.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think he has the physicality to be like because Gomez is a big guy. He may not be overly physical or whatever, but he uses that big frame often. And then you look in the past, he's used Decore, Capu. I think the only reason Idrissa Gay does as well as he does in the system is because he's freaking physical and quick.
He's just a ball of muscle.
So that's the thing. I think a lot of this depends on, is he Gylfi's backup right now? Or is he interchangeable with McCarthy and Schneiderlin? Because right now I'm not sold on the fact that Marco sees him in that group based on the recent substitutions that have happened. So if we bring in another like backup for Gylfi, or if Vlasic stays for some reason, which I don't see happening, but it's just a possibility. If that's the case, then what comes of time? I just think it's a weird situation, the whole thing all the way around. Like I genuinely don't know what's going to happen with him next season.
It is, but as you say, there's a lot of planned out, so you might just have to bide his time.
Yeah, I think he will play. I mean, someone who's already on a long contract, I don't think signs a new one, or even gets offered a new one unless they want to play him. Like, if you didn't want him and you were just gonna, it's not even like they're just signing him up to protect the assets and get a fee for him. He was locked down anyway. But they will have increased his salary as well. So they obviously have given him this as a sort of, token of increased status at the club and in the squad. It could just be, next season, McCarthy and Schneiderlin are going to go, and we're going to bring in a sitting number 6 like I wanted, and you're going to be you're going to understudy, you're going to come in and out throughout the season because, you need energy across the Christmas fixtures, and you get injuries, and you're going to be much more active when I'm not playing 4-2-3-1. I'm playing 4-3-3. It could be anything, but one thing I will say is he will play. He will play more next season, because what would be the point in giving a player on a long contract, an improved contract, just to have him carry on not contributing?
Yeah, especially under Bronze, who has been functioning in a very logical manner. Not one of those things where here's this player who hasn't played much lately. Let's give him a 3-year deal just because. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's not something that I don't really see Bronze doing a whole lot of. It could be. You mentioned something that we haven't really talked about as much. The idea of bringing in a bigger, more physical player to play the Idrissa Gueye type of role, and that way you've got the physical frame there, and then Davies could be a backup for Gomez, assuming Gomez is back. And if that's the case, he doesn't have to be. He can actually just be a smart passing player that has a decent amount of energy. You know what I mean? So that way you're still getting the same combination of traits as you have now with Gomez and Idrissa Gueye. So I really don't know. That's why I thought it was a really good topic for a segment, just because nobody's got the answers to this.
Yeah, I think it's just one of them. Time will tell.
Play him it right back. It's happened before.
It's been done. In the right thing.
All right, guys. Anything else on this? I mean, it's it's one of those where we can sit there and come up with scenarios, lots of them, about what's going to happen with Tom. Thing is, I'll go ahead and tell you, I want to figure out a way for him to play, because I just think he's just a sound kid. He just seems awesome. It's like, that is a role model for my kid right there. I hope my kid it has that good of an attitude and is that at peace with the world. You know what I mean? How he's just so he's just so cool. You know what I mean? Like, I will never be that cool, and he's like 21 or so. That's just unfair. And he's just so grounded about being a Premier League player. You know, like, they're like, do you have any advice for kids that want to do it? He's like, just have fun. He doesn't do some, like, over pretentious, like, footballer thing where he's like, oh, you really got to do this and this and this and this. He's just like, nah, just have fun. Grow your hair long. Wear some crazy shit. Yeah. just so relaxed and chill. Anyway, he's probably the least neurotic person I've ever seen. And me being one of the most, I know what I'm talking about. So, guys, I guess that's enough for Tom Davies' new contract ? So, according to Max's phone, this is an update. All right, Max's phone has just told him, and he has told us, Davies has officially signed the contract. So that thing we were talking about happening, ? I said ? No. Davies' new contract, ! now. All right? It's till June 2023, as was surmised. So, yeah. Terry, are you still a little confused?
No, I'm happy. I'm interested to see what we do.
Terry's no longer confused. He's happy now. Max, How are
Yeah.
you feeling?
Cool. Let's roll.
All right, I agree. Good kid. I hope what Terry said earlier happens. He plays more. I'd love to see him get more time and improve. All right? Usually what Terry says happens. So universe, pay attention. If you've been digging the videos, please subscribe to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. We sincerely appreciate it. If you want more Terry, just ask him. It's that simple. All right? Hugs abound for Terry when you see him out, so make it happen. You can even talk about, if it's sometime Tuesday forward, you can even talk about Game of Thrones with him, or Endgame. Just saying. All right? But keep an eye on his Twitter. He'll tell you when he's going to be on the Liverpool Echo fan jury. That would be great. Also, Maxwell House, he'll be out and about. So, handshake, eye contact, make it work, good debate. And you can talk about the Game of Thrones with him as well. But really, he likes to keep it to football, so make a debate about football. Check out his work on the Toffee Blues website. He appears there every once in a while, so keep an eye on that. It's brand spanking new, looks nice. Webmaster John's done good work. Look at Max's Twitter. He'll tell you when and where he's going to be. This is the last video segment for this flurry, for this recording session. So flip on over to the podcast if you want to see these guys' artist renderings they're going to be needing for the quiz moving forward. If that's really what the quiz is, they'll have to see. They don't know what the quiz is. That's the point. So flip on over to the podcast if you want to hear them, see how that's going to work. It's Everton trivia. That's all you need to know. All right. Enough of that. I guess we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.